Social/religious norms aside, how would you like your death to be mourned or celebrated? I want to be dropped like 500 or so feet from the sky, and wherever I land is just a surprise. Cannonball funeral. I think there's a funeral parlor that cremates your body and put the ashes in a big firework and blows you up over the sky. I'd love to placed in a wooden ship soaked in gasoline and pushed into the sea while an archer shoots a fiery arrow from the bay. The people will then mourn me watching my ship on fire and crumbling into the sea while a bagpiper plays sad Irish music. Then, after a while, people will start questioning the Irish sad song since I'm Italian, but I will be gone forever not to be bothered by them. 1. Nordic ceremony. 2. Irish music. 3. Italian family. How American. I want my remains to be scattered over Disneyland, but I do not want to be cremated. My spouse, a wildlife photographer, said that instead of spreading my ashes over my favorite part of Yellowstone that he'd throw me out limb by limb, so he could get some amazing photographs. Sounds like your husband and I have a similar sense of humor. I want my body to be cured, stuffed with candy, and hung from the ceiling so the funeral guests can beat the candy from my dead body like a piñata. I'll put the fun in funeral. Send me a funeral invite, buddy. I'll bring a clown nose for everyone. New Orleans has a tradition of marching slowly to the graveyard, mourning. Then a ceremony and a dancing jazz party on the way back to the church, where food and drinks are. The party continues from there. I've always thought this is good psychology, mourn, but celebrate also. This philosophy of celebrating the life of the deceased is one of my favorites. When my friend Ian died, we all got together and watched his favorite shows, cooked his favorite foods, and drank his favorite booze, Tullamore whiskey and a variety of cheap beer. Honestly, I think it's one of the healthiest and most productive ways to mourn. I agree 100%. My mom died when I was 9, and instead of having a dread-filled funeral, we had a short memorial service at a church near her parents' home, then went back and had a pleasant campfire where everyone laughed and had a good time. This kind of celebration made losing my mom a lot less traumatic, and helped me to remember the good things instead of how hard it was losing her. I always thought that I wanted to be cremated and my ashes spread into the ocean on a full moon. Now I'm thinking, just fill my belly with seeds and bury me in a forest, so I can become fertilizer for the trees and flowers and have some trees and flowers grow out of me. Or be cremated and ask for your remains to be put in a hole, and a tree planted on top. That's what I did with my dad's remains, a peach tree, and my mom's, a shadblow tree, her favorite. For my grandma used a wild rose bush. It's fun to think of the right tree for each person, like for someone who was a little mean in life I would use a crabapple tree. For a sweetie pie, a drift of daffodils. This is so much better than a headstone. What a warming and melancholy post at the same time. R.I.P. to your mom and dad, and grandma. I was thinking the same thing up until the fourth sentence, then it got a slight serial killer vibe to it. If dude ever offers to show you his apple orchard, run, man, friggin' run. Joke answer, tattoo a treasure map on my body for my loved ones to follow and discover that the true treasure was the friends we made along the way. Serious answer, I'd hope that my body would be put to use as efficiently as possible, organ donations, leftover parts given to science, leftovers to be burned/buried/eaten, whatever works for the survivors. I'm not using my body anymore. Then a small gathering, with food/music/fun, where people take turns coming to the microphone and sharing a memory they have of me. No big eulogies, no mountains of flowers, nothing big or fancy. Just my loved ones remembering me, and my love for them, for a little while. I agree with your serious answer 100%. I'm in the medical field and so many patients die waiting for organ transplants. It is truly heartbreaking. Donating to science is so important to support new discoveries too. The best funerals I have been to and left feeling somewhat happy and feeling some closure have been the ones with lots of stories told. The stories make you remember the good. I have a tendency to be late for a lot of things. When I die, I would like one of the following said about me at the service, and written on my tombstone. If I outlived the average life expectancy age, late for death, as he was for most things in life. If I died before the average life expectancy age, finally, something he wasn't late for. What if you die exactly at the life expectancy age? Maybe right on time, finally. I want my body donated to the body farm with one special stipulation. I want to be put in a cart trunk and spring-loaded so that when some hapless grad student comes to check on my decomposition, my corpse pops out at them like a fermenting eyeless jack-in-the-box. If I were you, I'd get on this early and design the crank/music box/spring mechanism now, so they can't complain that it's a waste of time. If the universe is feeling really ironic, though, you'll die in an accident testing the mechanism. I want someone to hire a bear from one of those companies that rescues hurt bears and then trains them. Then have that bear be at my funeral, preferably a black bear, because they're smaller and less aggressive than the people who are in on it, a select group of my closest friends, and if I have one at the time of my death, my significant other will walk up to the bear and talk to it like it was a close friend of theirs too. Nothing can be explained to anyone about the bear. As far as they know, I lead a secret life where I befriended a bear. That's what I want. Also, all of my Furbies should be there. Oh, I also want to be cremated. I have a fear of being buried in a coffin alive, and cremation should stop that. Wouldn't that just mean you'd be burned alive instead though? You know, there was an incident of a crematory worker napping on a cot, and a newer student accidentally cremated him. They'd realized their mistake when they heard screaming, but by the time they'd noticed the temps were already so high that it was too late to stop the process and save him. I want to be fired into the sun. What method? From a giant cannon or a rocket? A jet black rocket. Put me in a Tesla and shoot me off into space. I want to be burned on pyre in a Darth Vader costume, with his theme playing in the background. I want them to take my bones and make me into one of those skeletons they always have in high school science classes. This is not in jest, I think it would be truly cool. I got the idea from a guy who lost his arm, and later had it taken to a taxidermist. It now sits on the mantel above his fireplace, a skeleton arm and hand. I would like to be cremated and have my ashes put into fireworks. I then would like them launched from my favorite spot on the beach so I can touch the sky one last time. After my death, just throw me in the trash. Had to go further than I expected for this. If it's summertime, I just hope you die close to garbage day. You'll want your family to remember you fondly after all. I opened the app and saw I had a notification. Went to check it and I saw. I just hope you die close to garbage day. And was like, WTF did I say that was so inflammatory to get that response? I don't know why, but this made me laugh harder than any other comment in the thread. Whatever my family wants, I will be dead. I do not care at all. That's my thought. I don't care, I won't be there. I just don't want anyone to use up resources, so no coffin or burial, no expensive funeral. Yeah, funerals can cost the same as a new car or wedding nowadays. Complete waste of money. I don't want my family to have to pay that kind of money, and my wife knows this. The main thing your family wants is for you to pay for it. I would like to be spoken for, like an Orson Scott Card speaker for the dead. Just tell my story. Don't make me into a saint, don't skip my many flaws, just explain my life as it happened. Give context, but don't pull punches. Speak of my modest achievements, but don't try to make them more meaningful than they are. Don't overlook my many failures. I have friends and enemies, and I would like them both satisfied with my eulogy. I totally agree. That book was incredible and always had an impact on my feelings about funerals. I've tried to talk with family every time to hear stories and learn more about the life of whoever I'm there to honor. I want my closest friends to drink with my urn, to have one last brew with the boys before I go to the afterlife. I would do this, but people don't even show up to drink with me while I'm alive. What kind of funeral would you like for yourself? Leave a comment. And subscribe to this channel if you wanna see more same videos.